Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome to the channel. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on the Patreon page, thank you so very much for your support. I greatly appreciate it. This is the energetic forecast or tarot reading forecast for not only Sunday, September 6th, but also the underpinning energy. Like this will spread out between the 6th and the 12th of September. Now, if you're watching this on a date that doesn't fall on those days, that's completely fine. You can use this information whenever you come across it. It is a timeless reading, and I do trust that Spirit has a way of getting us the messages when we need them. So if this is coming across on your feed or wherever you're seeing this at whatever time, hopefully there's something of value or benefit for you in here. If there's not, that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong or things are bad. You might just be working on something different, and that's completely okay and fully acceptable. If you do watch this, you need to sort of take what I say sort of and apply it to wherever it fits in your life. Any decisions you choose to make from having watched this video, you know, those are your responsibility. I just always say that now. And so we'll get into the forecast. For those of you that are new, each card will represent a couple of days of the week. You might experience all of these cards. You may experience only one. Some of you might even experience all of these cards and then some that we don't even see. So there is flexibility around all of this, and everything is up for sort of, you know, free will, choice, and change. We always have that power at our fingertips. So nothing that I say should be you know, set in stone. It's just used as a kind of a guidepost of what we might experience this week, okay? So let's get into this energy and see what's going on from the 6th to the 12th. Okay, so the beginning of the week, we have the Four of Cups. All right, Cups is always the element of water and the emotions, right? There's a little bit of boredom sometimes, and there's usually some sort of indecision with the Four of Cups. When I look at this one, it looks a little bit sad. Usually I sort of see in the traditional in the traditional Four of Cups, meaning it is usually a guy sitting in front of a cup, staring at a cup that's got wings up in the air. This has got the cup hanging from the tree. To me, I feel like this woman feels very forlorn. I get a feeling that maybe emotions at the beginning of this week might be a little bit stagnant. They might feel a little bit stuck. I don't think that things are bad. All of these Four Cups are upright. They're a little bit, you know, we've got three on one side of the bank and one up in the tree. To me, that signifies that we might feel spread a little thin, a little bit sort of out of place, but this is a natural thing. And I think that what it is challenging us to do is, where do we take that sort of thinly spread energy, or that feeling of maybe, I don't know if discord is a strong word, but that disconnection to whatever's going on around us, right? There is, to me, when I look at this card, there is forward movement. The stream feels like it's moving past us, right? So to me, I feel like there is forward movement happening, even though we may not be aware of it. She is kind of in her own world. The one good thing that I like about this is if we are feeling like maybe emotionally strained or a little bit bored or a little bit challenged in some ways, all of her cups are upright, right? And it's forcing her to kind of sit down, take a moment. She looks like she's a little forlorn here, but to me, we might have to get into our present moment, get into our situation, focus on what's going on for ourselves, and really maybe go inward and sort of seek out that change, right? Or that perspective that we need to kind of move forward successfully through the rest of the week. Fours always signify this kind of stability, or they generate, to me, the opportunities for stability. When I look at this Four of Cups, her sitting in front of that tree, she's kind of grounding herself, getting into the present moment, and maybe doing a slight inventory of where she's at emotionally, what's really going on, and trying to understand and align herself with maybe her surroundings, her environment. So that might be, for some of you, that might be what you're trying to do this week in the early part, is kind of feel more connected to what's going on around you so that you can be more maybe productive or have more of an influence on how things play out. We always have an influence, guys. We always have free will and choice in what we choose to focus on, what we choose to deal with, what we choose to interact with, how we choose to interact with it. All of that is our choice, right? And so to me, when I look at this is about getting clear on what it is that we want, or how we want to interact with it, how we want to allow, how much of it do we want to allow in to affect us in how we feel, that kind of a thing. I don't think that this is a bad card. It doesn't feel a little bit like, I want to say disassociated. I don't know why. I feel like disconnected maybe in some way. And what I think that why that is coming up for me is I feel like that fourth cup that's hanging from the tree, it's like there's a piece that we need to reconnect to or gain back for ourselves, and we might find ourselves doing that work in the early part of this week. And let's see what the midweek card is. Okay, hey, we got the King of Swords. So King of Swords is always about clear thinking, the element of air. This could be, this is the element of water, right? We've got the element of air. It can be a significant air sign if you choose to see it as somebody outside of yourself. That would be Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. But also the King of Swords, to me, he's kind of about clear thoughts, decision making, doing it sort of with like a quickness, not really entertaining too much. What's the word? I don't know if frivolity is the right word, but to me, he's sitting there in his throne, staring very clearly at us, going like, okay, we need to. These two cards together, excuse my language, but it makes me feel like a little bit of shit or get off the pot energy. Like, here is us. Oh, wow, this is a weird analogy, but here is us sitting on the pot, kind of trying to decide, do we want to go, do we don't want to go, do we want to do this, do we don't want to do this, how do I feel about this, I don't know. That's kind of the feeling I get. Here is like the decision, okay, I need to do something. I need to make a clear decision that I stand behind, that I feel justified in, that I understand why I'm doing, that I'm willing to live with the ramifications of it. All of that, I think that this is a beneficial card. It's empowered, it's well thought out, it's logically based, hopefully for most of you, and it's true, it's authentic, right? And we're doing it regardless of the ramifications or the outcome of the choices that we make. I think that that's the decision that comes with the King of Swords. By midweek, there's a decision that's being made that, if we don't maybe have all the facts, or we don't have, the exact answers of how it's going to play out, from said decision, we will just live with it no matter what. That's the sort of thing about kings. The power of kings is that they have the growth, the awareness, the prowess, all of that to just own whatever it is that they do and deal with, whatever rolls out from behind that. And I think that's the stance of this king, if that makes sense. We might not, we could step on a few toes. I almost feel like this king feels a little bit, I don't know, like, challenged in some way, like maybe what we want to do others might disagree with. That might be some of the Four of Cups energy that we're feeling in the beginning of the week as we're juggling things. Is this the right thing for me? Yes. Is this the right thing for them? Maybe not. The King of Swords kind of says, okay, but I need to do sort of what's right for me. Or for them, if, we might decide to hold back on something or not take action. That's always a decision too. But we're willing to deal with it. And the King of Swords, the authority that comes with the King card, to me speaks to this idea that we're being very adult or practical, logical about what it is that we're doing, right? And why, no matter what the outcomes. By the week's end, oh, lovely, we have the Two of Cups. This is very much a love card in a lot of respects, right? I almost want to say, looking at these three cards together, it's like somebody's making the decision to turn towards a relationship. This might be sort of maybe one of you, or, very few of you, turning towards the thing that feeds us the most, that nourishes us. That could be the Two of Cups too, emotionally nourishing us. feeling more connected, more whole. For those of you that aren't interested in a relationship, this could be about becoming more connected or whole within oneself, right? But there's this bond that happens with the Two of Cups where these two come together and they sort of honor and love one another exactly where they're at for what they are. They are rejoined together. Emotionally, there's a well-being with them. There's a connection with them. So anything that we were dealing with in the beginning of the week around that Four of Cups, the work that we put in and the ownership that we take by the midweek with the King of Swords kind of pays off by the end of the week because we feel sort of connected in a way that we needed, that we were seeking, right? For those of you that are actually interested in, say, a significant other, this would be the opportunity to kind of commit to that, is sort of the feelings that I'm getting. When I'm looking at that Four of Cups, we might be sorting through any last minute emotions, any worry, fear, or whatever, and committing to, and when I say committing to it, I'm talking about a relationship, but this could, let's sort of take this into a more broad spectrum place so it can fit other people. Is there something that at the beginning of the week you guys are contemplating that you want to do that may change your environment, bring you out of boredom or emotional disconnection? Is there a decision that by the midweek you have to get clear on and make and do so with authority so that you can get to a place where you feel more inspired and more connected to your own life, right? This could be a significant other, like a romance, but it also could be, you know, maybe it's just a new career or a new hobby for that matter, right? Something that inspires us, that turns us on, that we're in love with, right? That's that Two of Cups energy by the week's end. I feel like we feel a little bit more whole, a little bit more full, a little bit more connected by the week's end, but we have to kind of trust ourselves in the midweek with that King of Swords energy, right? We might have to, I don't know if it's stick our neck out, but in some ways, I kind of get that feeling that there might be, you know, some people that disagree, or because he feels like he's sitting firmly there, right? He feels like he is sort of standing by his decision no matter what. So be prepared for that. I always think that kings are, you know, good cards. So he feels like he knows what he's doing and why he's doing it very clearly because of the work that he did with that Four of Cups in the early part of the week, okay? He doesn't make, you know, frivolous decisions. And the benefit of that pays off because we feel more, you know, in sync, aligned in that Two of Cups energy by the end of the week. Let's see what the Moonology deck says. All right, so we have New Moon in Leo. Confidence is your key to success. So Leo is always the sign of, you know, that wonderful gregariousness, that confidence, that love, that energy, definitely associated with the sun. When we have a new moon, it's all about the building and creation of that. When we talk about this confidence, we want to we may not have it in the early part of the week, right? That is this Four of Cups energy. We might have to sort through a few things, but as we're sorting through and as we're reflecting, we're getting more centered and into who we are and how we feel, again, getting comfortable with that, understanding that better. We move into that midweek card of the King of Swords. To me, that is when this confidence kicks in. That's when this new moon in Leo energy really starts to happen. Remember, air and fire, air being that King of Swords energy, and then this new moon in Leo, which would be a fire energy, they feed off of one another and they burn. One requires the other to burn, right? You need oxygen to make air, to make fire, and fire also, you know, grows stronger from that element of air. So I kind of feel like this new moon in Leo plays off of the midweek and then beyond as it carries us through. We might have traces of it in the beginning of the week when we're working through this Four of Cups, finding wherever our life we might feel disconnected or lackluster or need changes, addressing those changes, kind of bringing ourselves back into sync, and then from that in sync moment, we will stand in that King of Swords energy and start to really make decisions that start to bring about positive change that we see in this Two of Cups. We need to remain confident is what it feels like. This, I mean, obviously that says confidence is your key to success. Remaining confident that no matter what And this is what I sort of saw in the King of Swords, is this idea that no matter what decision we make or whatever we do, whether it upsets people or they're in line with it or whatever, staying confident, remaining confident in knowing that no matter what the outcome, we're going to be fine. You know, that we are going to be able to create whatever it is that we need. That's the power of this new moon in Leo. So taking that and sort of running with it and making it happen this week is really kind of the key to all of this. We also, I will say this too, the darkness of the new moon, it may not be, you know, I think about moving through the dark or moving through sort of uncharted territory, and that might be some of this Four of Cups energy too, but there is still light that sheds off of that, and sometimes we need to be challenged in that way of moving through the darkness of the new moon to build and work towards our goals, to kind of energize our attention and our intention towards whatever it is that we want. Doing that from a place of confidence gives us, makes it all of the more, a more powerful connection, if that makes sense. That's kind of also what I'm feeling. Like I'm looking at this new moon here and I'm feeling like, oh, so some of my people who are reading this or who are watching this right now may not necessarily know all of the steps to go through. That's sort of also the confidence of the King of Swords. Regardless of knowing what how it's going to play out specifically or what may happen on the other side of it, we have to trust that. We have to live in that sort of king aspect of being authentic to who we truly are, what we truly know to be true, what we've thought about, and make that clear decision and then move towards it and experience it through this Two of Cups. I hope that makes sense. Now, the grounding stone, this is the energy that you want to ground in throughout the week. This is energy, okay? Now, this is on malachite, which is a green stone, very healing, associated with the fourth chakra, which is our heart chakra. When I think about all of what I see in these cards, a lot of cups energy, which is the emotions. We had all last week a lot of pentacles energy. And then we look at this confidence as the key of success and the sign of Leo, right? To me, it feels like we need to be conscious of where we are placing our energy or how our energy feels to us throughout this week. It's going to be important. Keeping it as centered into the heart center as much as possible, keeping it balanced in this space of healing and love, keeping that focus maybe on ourselves as much as anybody else so that we can move forward towards this confidence, towards these clear decisions by the midweek so that we can attain this deeper love by the week's end in this Two of Cups. Again, whether this deeper love is with somebody outside of ourselves, which it can very much signify, that this card can very much signify that, or it's just within ourselves and the deepening of our connections and appreciations of our own self, that in and of itself is a beautiful thing that will also help to boost confidence and make us successful. So for those of you not on a trajectory for a relationship, that's completely fine. This could be just about the appreciation and bonding and better like sort of communing with your own self, right? And being true to your own self, what you know to be true. That is your forecast for the day. Thank you so very much. I hope that it makes sense. It'll be interesting to see where these cards take us this week. It looks like definite commitments abound, whether they're to ourselves or to others. And our energy or how we're making those commitments, where we're focusing those commitments and executing them is going to be of the utmost importance. So keep that as your focus. And I will see you guys tomorrow. If you enjoyed this reading, please hit the thumbs up button and share it out if you'd like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. If you're just stopping by, please hit the subscribe button. And if you hit the notification bell, you'll be notified when I go live. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow to see how these cards continue to play out. And we will build upon this forecast to see where it takes us. All right, take care. I love you all. Bye-bye.